Hello there. Are you someone who has difficulty relaxing? Well, if you are, you've got a lot of company. In fact, most people can only relax by tiring themselves physically or mentally. Only then can they relax. Well, in this video, I'm going to continue talking about the theme I began in the previous one, whose description, I'll leave a link in the description below, about painless muscle relaxation and how once you learn to do it, it is a skill that will change your body and change the quality of life for the better in many ways. You want to know more about what I'm talking about? Keep watching this video and I'll show you. Hello again, it's me, Dan Stodt, creator of the Body Empathy Method and the painless, healthy, pain-free body formula, I'm a body therapist and educator with more than 40 years of experience, and the Body Empathy Method is the fruit of all of this. It's a conscious, non-invasive, sensory-based method of promoting optimal health through an original and exclusive method of painless exercise and massage. And the first step in this process is painless muscle relaxation. The thing is, many people, not only do they do not know how to relax, but they don't realize that they're not relaxed. So the first step is really learning to feel your body and notice to what degree you are relaxed when you move or actually over-moving. This is a phenomenon which I commented briefly in another video, in the sense that not only do we often tend to overeat, we often also tend to overbreathe. And not only do we tend to overbreathe without realizing it, but we tend to over-move. We use more energy than necessary. And one of the reasons we do this, aside from the fact that it's now a habit because we've been doing it all our lives, is the fact that we have a lot of excessive muscle tension that we actually have to sort of fight against in order to move. It's sort of holding us back. We just don't feel it. So we end up having to make more of an effort just to go beyond the tension in our body that we have that's sort of holding us back a little bit. But you don't really know what I'm talking about. I know it's just words, just a concept, until you've had the actual experience of feeling in your body, wow, I didn't realize I was holding my shoulders tense or holding my head rigidly with my neck or whatever that particular tension happens to be. So the Body Empathy Method in its healthy movement system begins basically with 5 painless muscle relaxation techniques, or 4 techniques. And in a previous video, I teach the first one, which is probably the most important one. First, because it's the first one, and you want to begin from the very beginning the right way. And it teaches you how to do that. But it is also so useful for any kind of back pain, leg pain, knee pain, and just overall anxiety, nervousness, stress in general, more at a mental level. So you will find a link to that video in the description below in this one. However, what I'm going to show you now in this video is continuing or elaborating on the theme, which is this. Once you've learned how to relax deeply, not by putting yourself into some unnatural stress position and forcing your body to stretch. That's not relaxation. Relaxation is neurological. It's sensory-based. I'll speak more about that in a different video. But my point is this. Once you've relaxed and you're in this relaxed state, the next step is how you take that relaxation with you into action. So, This is what I'm going to show you in this exercise, and it's very much related to the way you should get out of bed in the morning, or whenever you've been lying down, exercising on the ground. You want to get up from the ground or from the bed like this. Let's imagine that I'm lying, you're me here lying on the ground. You can be on top of your bed, or let's say you're in a gymnasium somewhere, or maybe you're in the park. You have a nice piece of green grass you've been resting on, and now it's time to get up. Well, in the first exercise in this healthy movement system, which begins with painless muscle relaxation techniques, you do an exercise that teaches you how to bring your leg up in 2 steps, like that. 1, 2. In the third exercise, what we do is the legs fall to one side, and you turn onto that side, like that. In the fifth exercise, which is the one I'm showing you now, again, so you can see better what happens in my lower body, I begin as if I'm doing the third, turning onto my side. However, if you see in this position, my knee comes down on top of my foot, and I don't want that. So I have to flex this leg a little bit. And that permits me to begin taking the weight of the body onto my hands as much as possible, especially now that I'm on a hard surface, because I'm going to come up onto my hands and knees. And that can be very uncomfortable on a hard surface. So the more you take your weight onto your hands and arms, the less weight you have in your knees. And I can actually pivot like that. And I continue walking around, keeping the weight in my hands until my pelvis goes down, then my elbow, my shoulder, finally my head. And I've done 3/4 of a circle. I can do the reverse, letting the legs fall to the side, turning onto my side, and remembering to flex this leg and the hip so the knee can go down. I don't want it coming on top of my foot. And from here, it's like I imagine I'm making a circular movement. I'm walking around on my hands in a circle, always taking advantage of this middle position to pivot the knees, like pivot the legs and the knees and hips like that, before going back around onto my hip, onto my elbow, using my hand to support me, shoulder, and finally the head, and onto my back. And this is actually a very cool exercise that you can do if you have the space, like you're outdoor in the park. Maybe I'll show you once, just so you see what I'm talking about. I hope you can get it on the camera. But once you've learned this movement, you can actually make 4 consecutive movements, 4 3/4 circles in the same direction. And what will happen, can you guess what's going to happen? Comment below if you think you know. What's going to happen is at the end of the 4th circle, this one, I end up in the exact position I began originally. So I sort of spiraled around in 4 of these 3/4 circles. And then, if I had more time and space, etc., I would do it again in the opposite direction. So this is a very fun, pleasurable exercise. It's relaxing. It's very good for the lower back and the hip joints and all these areas where we have so much stress and tension in general. And last but not least, it also prepares you to come into a standing position the way I teach it, that no one else seems to teach, in the most biomechanically efficient way, putting the minimal amount of stress on your body. So from here, instead of continuing to go around as I was doing before, I simply put toes of my feet in touch with the ground, and keeping the weight of my body in my hands as much as possible, I walk backwards until my heels go down. And from here, I slowly come up until, voila, I'm standing on my feet again. So again, this is all about how I can take my relaxed state with me consciously into, in this case, the vertical position, now ready to walk, move, whatever else I want to do, without having used any unnecessary movement or effort or energy, as unfortunately we all might tend to do if we were not moving this very conscious, deliberate way. We would just start almost spasmodically doing it one way or another without awareness and without taking advantage of the design of your body, which is such that you can carry out these basic movements with maximum ease and comfort and efficiency, etc., in a way that's very safe, and develop this as your habitual way of being in your body. And really, this is what the Body Empathy Method's healthy movement system is all about. It's about helping you to develop this relaxed state as your default state, and how you can keep it and take it with you. And when you lose it, get back to it, recover it as quickly as possible. So I hope that this makes sense to you. It may be a little abstract what I'm talking about. It's maybe a new concept for you. But it's very important in terms of relaxation being a skill that you can develop over long term, and how much that's going to improve not only your health, but your quality of life, and avoid a lot of health issues down the line if you put the energy into it. So if you find this interesting, if you have any questions, please comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you want to learn more about the Body Empathy Method's healthy movement system, which is actually a protocol unlike any other in the world today that I've been developing and perfecting for more than 40 years, it is wonderful. I think you will really like it. Then I invite you to write me at infobodyempathy@gmail.com, stating your interest, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you're new and watching this on my YouTube channel and you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. This way I can send you an email every time I upload a new video. And if you think you know someone who would benefit from this, please tell them about it. Until then, as I like to say, in a world increasingly obsessed with everything is extreme, the Body Empathy Method is a much needed and common sense alternative.